as a test case for total dominance and unchecked power by the federal government.
Tonight, outrage over a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that lifts restrictions on immigration raids in Los Angeles.
They have effectively legalized racial profiling and, by extension, racial discrimination.
Good evening. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Betty Yu. Despite today's ruling that favors the president's immigration enforcement crackdown, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says this fight is not over. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon was in LA when the mayor vowed to continue this fight.
We will not allow the Supreme Court or anyone to divide us.
Outrage and a promise to fight back. The message from LA Mayor Karen Bass after the country's highest court's decision allowing federal agents to continue sweeping immigration operations in Los Angeles using race or language as a basis to stop people.
Law enforcement cannot racially profile and discriminate against Latinos, against Angelenos based on their race.
From Home Depots to car washes, over the last 3 months, the federal immigration raids in the LA area have made some fearful to continue or find work.
Approximately 247 car wash workers have disappeared from our communities. This is just unacceptable.
It's a daily fear in our community. People aren't going to church, aren't going to work in many cases.
Ron Goches, a community organizer and teacher in South Los Angeles, says after Monday's ruling, he plans to continue conducting community patrols.
What we try to do is we try to locate ICE activity before they strike so that we can warn our community so they have a chance to defend themselves.
In a social media post, the Department of Homeland Security calling the Supreme Court's decision a victory, adding DHS will continue to arrest and remove the criminal illegal aliens that the mayor of LA is protecting. But top city leaders say they're not backing down despite Monday's decision.
From the beginning, we have known that Los Angeles has been used as a test case for total dominance and unchecked power by the federal government.
And that was Fox 11's Rachel Aragon reporting. Today's ruling only lifts a restraining order on indiscriminate raids. The original lawsuit that prompted the restraining order will continue to work its way through the courts. California Governor Gavin Newsom issued a statement on today's ruling, saying in part Trump's handpicked Supreme Court majority just became the grand marshal for a parade of racial terror in Los Angeles. This isn't about enforcing immigration laws, it's about targeting Latinos. His statement goes on with, Trump's private police force now has a green light to come after your family, and every person is now a target. But we will continue fighting these abhorrent attacks on Californians. Earlier today, we spoke with Loyola Marymount University law professor Jessica Levinson about the potential impact of this ruling.
The fact that the Supreme Court decided to pause that decision, obviously, again, as we talked about before, it gives us some inkling as to their thinking. And I think that will have a ripple effect throughout the country where people will think, and maybe correctly, maybe not, that the Supreme Court is likely to turn down a challenge to the ICE agents and the way the ICE agents are enforcing federal law.
A hearing tied to the underlying lawsuit is set for September 24th. A new lawsuit filed in Colorado challenges a policy that exempts many immigrants from being eligible for bond hearings. The American Civil Liberties Union filed the lawsuit on behalf of an immigrant who's in custody after living in the U.S. for more than 26 years. A new Trump administration policy cites immigration law that denies bond hearings to immigrants who entered the country without authorization. The ACLU argues that law is only applicable to people apprehended upon arrival in the U.S. Well, we have an update on the Utah musician who was detained by ICE in Colorado. Fox 11's Carolina Hassett spoke with him about an experience he calls dehumanizing.
I was in constant panic a little bit. Every night I wasn't sure what was going to happen tomorrow or the following day.
On August 18th, John Shin was in Colorado for work when DHS agents met him at his hotel. After a 20-minute interrogation, he was being detained.
It was a very short phone call to my wife, and it just It was one of the worst moments in my life to hear my wife cry on her birthday.
Which left his wife, Danae, shocked on the other end of the phone.
I didn't know if he was safe. I didn't know if he was being hurt. I didn't know if he was suffering.
Shin says on the way to the detention facility, he was shackled on both his wrists and ankles.
Feeling like some kind of a serious criminal.
He described his time in the detention center as dehumanizing, sleeping on a tiny mattress with no pillow, overhearing arguments and racist jokes. But hearing the amount of support he was getting in Utah kept him going.
Just when I thought there were no options and I might have to give up, there was hope again. And I don't know how to thank my musician friends.
Shin came in under his father's student visa, married a U.S. citizen, and for reasons that were beyond his control, was unable to file for a green card right away. His attorney, Adam Craig, says these situations are happening more and more.
With the current administration's mass deportation efforts, there are quotas, there are requirements that every single day, X amount of people have to be taken into custody.
And while he was born in Korea, Shin says they were always in the process of trying to get a green card because he believes America is his home.
It's been so difficult for me to identify myself as either nationality sometimes because I don't know where I belong. But, you know, for my entire life living in the United States, I always thought, you know, I was an American.
Now, before being released, Shin was fitted for an ankle monitor, which him and his team expect to stay on for at least a couple months. His attorney, Adam Craig, says they're still going through legal proceedings and they're working to get him a green card and a work permit so he can return to work. In Salt Lake City, Carolina Hassett, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Hundreds of children could lose their lawyers for immigration proceedings after the Trump administration cuts off funding for the Unaccompanied Children program. In San Diego alone, approximately 300 kids could be impacted. A county supervisor is proposing expanding who is eligible for San Diego County's Immigrant Legal Defense Program. If approved, this proposal would allow them to represent all children regardless of custody status.
Notion that you would have children in court who could then get sent thousands and thousands of miles away and they have no one to speak for them. I can't imagine how anyone could think that that was okay.
The San Diego County Board of Supervisors will vote on the expansion proposal tomorrow. Sheriff's deputies in Washington believe they prevented a tragedy. They have a 13-year-old in custody who they think is obsessed with school shootings. Fox 13's Shira Matsuzawa shows us what they found inside his home.
Gun after gun after gun. These are just some of the weapons the public information officer with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office, Carly Capetto, says were found inside of the home of the 13-year-old arrested over the weekend.
Several firearms were just around the home, hanging on the walls. It was very clear there was some negligence in terms of gun ownership.
She says approximately 30 to 40 guns were seized, along with boxes and boxes of ammunition. But that's not all.
Tons of evidence that was found from the bedroom in terms of inscriptions and writings and things that would indicate he had targets and obsession with previous mass shooters that we've had in our history.
Authorities took the boy into custody early Saturday morning after receiving information about disturbing posts made on social media.
There was evidence that showed this subject was infatuated with mass shootings, had access to firearms.
As of Monday afternoon, the boy was here at Pierce County Juvenile Detention Center, facing several charges, including attempted threat to bomb or injure property, unlawful possession of a firearm in the second degree, and unlawful possession of fireworks. Capetto told Fox 13 it doesn't appear there was a specific school or event targeted, but says they're still going through evidence, and that includes electronic devices, so that could change. She adds the boy was not enrolled in any school district. His last known school district was Franklin Pierce. We reached out, and they confirmed the 13-year-old last attended one of their schools prior to 2021.
We have not had an individual in our jurisdiction act out in a mass shooting way. And I would say it's partly because we take all these threats very seriously and we don't allow them to get to that point. And it's very clear that we disrupted something.
Shira Matsuzawa, Fox 13 News.
Hurricane Kiko has Hawaii in a state of emergency tonight. Coming up, the trouble that's expected, even though the state will likely avoid a direct hit.
And in weather, here's our live camera looking out toward the Golden Gate Bridge, the San Francisco Bay Area. We will update the West Coast wrap forecast coming up.
North America's newest specialty crop is brewing in the fields of Southern California, but you might be surprised at what it is and just how much it'll cost you. That's coming up.
A tragic murder-suicide in Portland, Oregon has left 3 family members dead. Police say a 22-year-old man shot and killed his mother and 10-year-old sister before taking his own life Saturday evening. Officers responded to a 911 call reporting a suicide and found all 3 with gunshot wounds. The young girl was an elementary school student, and grief counselors are now supporting classmates. Authorities have not yet released the victims' names, and the investigation is ongoing. A suspected DUI crash in Napa County has left 6 people dead and triggered a murder investigation. Authorities say the driver, 53-year-old Norberto Celerino of Stockton, lost control, slammed into a tree yesterday evening. 1 passenger survived and was airlifted to the hospital. Celerino was also hospitalized and later arrested on suspicion of DUI and murder. KTVU has learned he has a prior DUI and no valid license, factors that could lead to formal murder charges.
When you get behind the wheel again, drunk, under the influence, it's a conscious disregard for human life.
The Napa County DA will review this case before determining what charges this driver could face. A baby LA County Sheriff's deputies say was kidnapped by his father and grandparents has been found safe in Arizona. They believe 1-year-old Enzo Antonescu was taken at knife point from a Target store in LA County yesterday. An Amber Alert was activated as first responders searched for him. State troopers located the suspect's vehicle in Arizona last night. The baby's father, Dragan Antonescu, and his parents have been arrested. The A's say they've reached a milestone in their effort to build a new ballpark in Las Vegas. According to Las Vegas Review-Journal, the A's vice chairman says that the team has secured an $87 million permit for concrete work at the stadium site. The A's are responsible for paying the first $100 million in construction costs. After that, the team may request up to $380 million in public funding earmarked for the project. It's expected to take more than $2 billion to build the ballpark on the old Tropicana Hotel site. The 33,000 capacity stadium is scheduled to open in 2028. Hawaii will likely be spared a direct hit from Hurricane Kiko, but people across the state are being advised to prepare for trouble. The storm is expected to cause heavy rain, strong winds, and dangerous surf this week. Governor Josh Green has issued a state of emergency. The proclamation authorizes the Hawaii National Guard to assist civilian authorities and directs all state agencies to cooperate in response efforts. Power crews are preparing for outages.
We are making sure that we're going to have staffing available and ready to respond. And, we're going through all of our various emergency checklists to make sure that, all of our people, our equipment, our materials are ready and ready to respond as needed.
Now, we do not see signs of widespread problems yet. This is a live look at the Big Island there. Let's bring in KTVU Chief Meteorologist Mark DeMaio, who's tracking Kiko and other conditions across the West. Hi, Mark.
Hi there, Betty. Thankfully, this is not a major hurricane. In fact, this will continue to weaken. So right now, this is a Category 1 hurricane with winds of 85 miles an hour, moving to the northwest at 15 miles an hour. So we're not expecting a direct hit with Hurricane Kiko. In fact, here is the forecast track, as you can see, for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, weakening into a tropical storm over the next few days. So right now, a Category 1 storm and weakening, moving to the north of the Hawaiian Islands. Out across the west, as you can see right now, we actually have a bit of a circulation, a disturbance, producing some rain showers up in parts of northern California, moving into parts of Oregon into your Monday evening. In fact, here's a closer look at the radar imagery so you can see from Eureka to Medford, Oregon, up toward Portland. They have some scattered rain showers showing up on the radar, and not as much coverage here out on the Arizona area. Remember last week we had some showers and some thunderstorms. Not the case for today. Here is the scene looking out towards Seattle. Current temperature actually high today of 75 degrees, picking up on some cloud cover. There is a chance of some showers, about a 20% chance of some showers in Seattle for tomorrow. In the San Francisco Bay Area, San Francisco topped out 74 degrees, kind of a partly cloudy, a bit of a humid day across the Bay Area for today. And then in Phoenix, showing you some sunshine, a temperature in the triple digits, as you would expect, 105 degrees this afternoon. Current numbers out there, Las Vegas right now, 93, Los Angeles, 72 degrees, Reno in the mid-70s, and Portland, Oregon, reporting 74 at last check. Here's the game plan for tomorrow. The chance of some showers for Seattle tomorrow, even for San Francisco, all kind of linked up with this system. Maybe some thunderstorms out toward the Denver area, and it looks like a warm to hot pattern developing for Southern California, extending into Phoenix for tomorrow. Here is the forecast model picking up on those shower chances up in Northern California and into Oregon and parts of Washington, as you can pick out on the coverage here. But down toward Los Angeles, just the typical low clouds and fog with increasing sunshine into the afternoon hours. So here's the forecast over the next 3 days. We have that sun-cloud mix in Seattle. Temperatures tomorrow in the lower 70s. We could have some rain showers for the San Francisco Bay Area for tomorrow. And then looks like temperatures mainly in the lower 70s over the next few days. Los Angeles close to 80 degrees. Phoenix, a chance of some scattered thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon. And Phoenix, as you can see here, well, Denver has the possibility of some thunderstorms. Phoenix, getting all mixed up here. Phoenix has the sunshine and temperatures right around 100 to 106 degrees. So they have the heat, and then tracking some rain, especially up in Northern California and parts of the Pacific Northwest as we do move into your Tuesday.
Thank you, Mark. Well, some people hoping to build careers in skilled trades like welding and construction are having trouble in the West. Fox 31's Aaliyah Sims visited a trade school in Colorado that's having a hard time finding instructors to train them.
Inside Emily Griffith Technical College, the classrooms don't look like lecture halls. They look like job sites. Sparks fly, flames flash, and students suited up in safety gear are learning the skills that keep Colorado running.
The demand is very, very high. Most of our trades programmings actually have a wait list.
But there's a hidden problem. Those full classrooms, they're getting harder to staff. Instructor positions can go unfilled for months.
Since I've been here, really all of the programs, at one time or another have had a challenge in finding qualified talent.
In one case, it took 6 months to find a part-time HVAC instructor, despite aggressive outreach, job posts, and community connections.
If we don't have instructors, if we're not teaching students and producing skilled labor, then the labor shortage is just going to continue and manufacturing will suffer.
Cole Chrisbacher is a former student himself, now teaching the next generation after years of work in the field.
The main reason I wanted to come back was so that I could, be a support role and assist others and try to help them have the same opportunity that was given to me through the school.
Leaders say there's also flexible ways for professionals who might want to teach, like substitute positions or shadowing opportunities. But the solution isn't simple.
It is a relationship game. It's going to take a village for us to do this, but with the demand, and we also know the expertise that exists out there, it's a perfect recipe for success.
For now, the torches still burn. But without instructors, the future of Colorado trades may be left hanging by a thread.
Be curious, take a chance. We believe in you.
And that was Fox 31's Aaliyah Sims reporting. Some trade school programs in the Denver area have been shut down or paused due to this instructor shortage. Well, the West serves as a testing ground for clean energy innovation this week. Coming up, see what's making waves in the industry. Plus,
we call her a little lifesaver. Very blessed that it happened right here. Hi, pretty girl.
why a Utah family credits a newborn with saving her grandpa's life. The country's first onshore wave energy site will begin operating in the West tomorrow. EcoWave Power installed its technology at the Port of Los Angeles. It involves large blue steel structures splashing into the ocean. As they bob up and down, waves generate power. EcoWave Power's co-founder and CEO says she's excited for this project to expand.
The perfect combination here of marine life
and clean energy living together without interference. Our really hope and dream is to implement our project on the large breakwater of the Port of Los Angeles. It's an 8 miles long breakwater where we can implement a project of up to 60 megawatts. 60 megawatts is 60,000 households. So that's really a game changer in terms of clean energy production.
The Department of Energy estimates that waves off the coast of the U.S. generate enough energy to power around 1/3 of the country's energy needs. One farmer wants the West to become known as a coffee-producing region. Fox's Max Gordon shows us what he has brewing in Southern California.
We're here at Hobson Family Farms in Ventura County, where they've planted around 18,000 coffee trees. Now, these trees are between 4 to 5 years old, and they're just now bearing their first major crop of coffee cherries. The bean, the coffee bean, is actually inside these cherries, and the cherry itself is pretty sweet. Not so sweet are the challenges that are facing coffee farmers here in Southern California between land costs, water costs, and labor costs.
You clearly don't know what you're doing, do you? Is the standard reaction. And it's like, how much money are you spending and what kind of idiot are you? It is not a standard farming practice. And it's hard to convince long-term farmers that this is a worthwhile crop to pursue.
According to the USDA, the top coffee growing countries in the world include Brazil, Vietnam, and Colombia. The United States is only 38th in the world for coffee production. But instead of competing in quantity, Southern California's coffee growers are trying to compete in quality. Hobson Family Farms is the largest coffee grower for Fringe Coffee, a coffee processor and distributor and the pioneer in the California-grown coffee movement. Fringe is currently selling 5-ounce bags of geisha beans to the discerning coffee consumer for $95. That results in cups of coffee that run between $15 to $20 a pop. But Fringe's founder says there's a growing market for their beans, especially in Asia.
These coffees are more like the tea palettes where they have these floralities, they have some balance and some complexities. And so you're seeing a lot within the Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, and then you're getting a lot of that same population coming here to Southern California and California that are opening up those same type of tea or coffee businesses. And that's what's really driving this market.
Fringe has big plans for the Southern California coffee industry. They want to turn this region into the Napa Valley of coffee with tasting rooms and tours. And I can confirm it is a great cup of joe. But will consumers be willing to shell out $15 to $20 per cup? Only time will tell. In Ventura County, California, Max Gordon, Fox Business.
Finally tonight, a Utah woman says her newborn baby helped save her grandfather's life. Baby Gia came into the world last week. A day later, her grandparents came to visit in the hospital. Now, during that visit, Gia's grandfather started feeling what he thought was heartburn. Minutes later, he fell to the ground.
Within 30 seconds, there were probably 15, 20 people in this room trying to revive my dad. In the moment, it was just, oh my gosh, like, my dad is dead.
Well, doctors say his heart stopped. It took CPR and multiple shocks to revive him. He is recovering, and the family now refers to Gia as a little lifesaver. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Have a great night.